I'd like to introduce you to Sandra Michaels. She's a music teacher, and she has 3 children who play the piano, the trumpet, the flute, and the guitar. She loves singing, playing the piano, being a teacher, and she also really loves being outside and planting. What does faith in a higher power or God mean to you?
Well, I believe it means trusting someone who made every detail of the universe perfect for us, and not only created it, sustains it, holds it all together with the power of his word. My stepfather was a biochemist, and he'd say, we scientists call it the holding power of the universe. He says, but we know it's Jesus holding it together with the power of his word. And he doesn't just forget us, he really listens to us, and part of his plan is letting us be part of it. And our input is important because we're supposed to be in him, and he's in the Father and the Son, and we're supposed to be in them. And when we are all together, heaven is supposed to touch earth wherever we are.
Why do you think it is important for people to have a religion or faith life?
Well, I don't believe in a religion. I don't. Religion means rules and regulations. And you follow those, and if you do those, you're good. And if you don't do those, you're bad. But that's really not the way it is. And because we're supposed to be the children of the Most High, of the Father. And you don't look at your children like that. They do something wrong, you still love them, and you help them fix it up.
Right.
And if they make a terrible mess, you don't say, go do it, you're in terrible trouble. You go and help them. And that's the way it is. It's not just rules and regulations, it's the heart connection. If you don't have the heart connection, be very cold and hard, thinking, oh, I've got to work really hard to do something to make me loved. But we're already loved from the beginning.
What was the most significant event of your faith life and why?
Oh, it's hard to say. Wonderful things happen all the time. It's just amazing. This life is totally amazing. But I can remember sitting right in this chair, and my daughter was here, my son, and my husband, and my littlest one wasn't born yet. But my little daughter was sitting here, and she was not eating. She was sort of squirming around and saying, very grumpily, why aren't you eating? And she said, my mouth hurts. And so I said, well, let me look at it. And I opened up, and she had white canker sores all over the inside of her mouth. I was so ashamed of myself. I said, oh, forgive me, that was really terrible. But then I just started laughing because I knew that Jesus is the healer. And I knew right then he was going to heal her. And I just laughed. And my husband and my son are looking at me, my daughter. But actually, I didn't really say it. You're supposed to say it, in the name of Jesus, you're healed, but I didn't say anything. I just laughed because I knew it. And then I said, well, Laura, where does it hurt? And she started feeling around. She said, well, it doesn't hurt anymore. So I looked at her mouth, and we all looked at her mouth, and I'm still laughing and laughing.
Do you wish someone would have told you about life when you were my age?
You're 14?
Mm-hmm.
My mother, I think she covered the bases very well. My father died when I was 9. He was working really, really hard. He was helping support his mother and his father and all of us. And he'd worked 14 hours on the railroad. He dropped dead on the railroad. And my mother went the next day down to a music store and said, I know you're not looking for anyone, but if you let me work for nothing I'll work for $1. She said, not nothing, I'll work for $1 a week, and then see if I'm not useful. Anyway, so she just had it together, and she got a job, and she took care of us, and she'd always say, if you tithe, God's going to remember to take care of you, so make sure you're always giving. If you're trying to hoard it, you run out, but if you always give, you'll be taken care of. And that was really true. We always had everything. I always had music lessons, and my sister had dance lessons. We always had everything. So ask God, because he's always willing to drop some thing into your mind. Because we get wonderful ideas all the time, but we don't pay attention. I sang Amazing Grace for you. That was so sweet. And then when you came here, you would sing Amazing Grace. And I remember another thing was so wonderful. We used to have a little cradle that Laura's father had built for her, and I had it wrapped up with some cloth, and your mother said, that looks like it could be a manger. And Sonia's never heard about the manger. Could you tell her about it? So I was telling you about God coming to earth and being born, you know, the blood came from the Father. Because remember, when babies are conceived, the mother can make the whole body withstand until the blood comes from the Father and animates it, and so the blood came from the Father. So he was fully God and fully man. And I got to tell you that, and I thought that was so wonderful.